So obviously last episode we had a pretty awful loss, but since then things have been looking up and Chelmsford Town have somehow once again found themselves in a potential promotion chase. Yeah, we've got 4 games to get you caught up on and then we'll be jumping straight into a league match against fellow promotion chasers Woking FC. Let's get into it. So after a pretty torrid game in the last episode, let's start this episode off with a bit of good news. I mean, we've avoided relegation, which, fantastic news. That means we have exceeded our seasonal expectations. I mean, it was never really in doubt, and we have had to pay out £4,500 worth of bonuses, but well worth the cost as far as I'm concerned. So you might remember that we had a agreement with Johnny Birchwell that if we received an offer of 400,000, we'd accept it and let him go. Dagenham and Redbridge just came in with a £3,000 offer and we rejected it because fuck off, no chance at all. He's kicked off because he wanted to go to them because we had a promise. Not for that price, we didn't at all. So now I've said, well, they weren't offering enough, and he's saying he's only worth 7,000, which is a big problem. I'm going to try and bump this up as much as I can. It doesn't look like he's going to be shifting. Can we get maybe 100 for him? He is our best player on paper, and it's so frustrating because we're only valuing him at a quarter of what he thought he was valued like 6 months ago, and he's saying that's nowhere near enough and we should let him go for 7. He's not happy about that. No big surprise. When does his contract actually run out? It is in 3 months, so that is... We might be losing him. I don't think we're going to be able to talk him round, but at the same time, I would rather keep him for the rest of the season and let him go for free than sell him now for 4,000, because 4,000 to us at this point is not a huge amount of money now that we've sold Callum Archer for a good whack, obviously. Which, yeah, he is obviously now kicking off about. And actually, I didn't even mention, the most frustrating part of the whole thing is we're doing quite well, and Dagenham and Redbridge are not only the same league as us, they're bottom. So, yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous that he's kicking off as hard as he is to go and play at a higher level at the club that's literally bottom of the league that we're, top half of. Oh, also, forgot to mention, absolutely tragic youth intake. So we're a couple of days out from our game against Woking, which is going to be today's match. We've played 4 matches, I think, since you were last here. The 4-0 loss to Fylde. Pretty terrible game. I don't really know why I've decided to start this clip here on this screen because it just makes me sad, to be honest. But yeah, after that 4-0 loss, things have actually been going pretty well. A lot better than I expected, considering, we'd won 2, then we'd drawn 3, then we'd lost 1, and you always think that little, the step down each time in results, and it's relatively consistent, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. But we've played 4 and we've won 4, and to be honest, it hasn't been, well, I don't want to say it hasn't been that hard because, 2 1-0 victories, they definitely could have gone either way. It basically just came down to one chance. And I mean, we were the better side against Kidderminster in this 1-0 victory, but I think that is almost entirely down to us changing our formation back to this 4-1-3-2. This is definitely the formation that I prefer how we play in, and I do really like our team in this formation. The only reason that I keep switching back, really, is because we've got a Johnny Birchwell on the left normally, who is, by the stars on the reports, he is our best player. I obviously don't know the numbers behind it, but he is the player that sort of sets the benchmark of how good our squad is. So it's a bit annoying that we only seem to play well in a formation where he can't be there. But if we're going to be looking to stick with a formation like this going forward, then at least at the end of the season, we're going to be able to, I'll have a couple of wingers probably as backups, maybe, just to, so we have got the option of changing the system if this one stops working. But it means I can pump all of my wage budget, let's say, into, finding the best players we possibly can to play this system specifically. Because at the moment, we started the season sort of thinking we were going to play with 2 centre mids, and we're basically playing with 4 if you include the defensive midfielder. So this is good, but we don't really have the depth for this system. Either way, enough rambling. We started off with a 1-0 victory over Kidderminster Harriers. As you can see from the XG, we were relatively dominant in this. It was just chance after chance after chance. They only got a couple of chances, 3 on target, but we just couldn't find a breakthrough up until the 77th minute, I think. Nice little play, and Clark managed to put Williams through, managed to break the line of the defence and slots it past the keeper with very little worries. And to be perfectly honest, that trend continued in the next match. We played Torquay, this time away, and the game followed a relatively similar pattern. I mean, we didn't have quite as many chances as we did in the previous one, but you can see we had 4 on target compared to their 1. We definitely had the better chances out of the bunch. And we decided to start Williams this time, and it paid off with what in essence was a pretty similar goal. Ball thanks to Bojank here. Williams breaks the backline defence, just manages to get through and pop it past the keeper, who was just defending the near post and nothing else for some reason. Doesn't really make any sense whatsoever, but a brilliant 3 points for us. However, we definitely stepped it up in the next match with a 4-1 victory over Barrow. And in a move that nobody saw coming, Yeboah not only started, but absolutely dominated the game. Well, I say dominated the game. He did get a hat-trick. He had one ruled out, but I'm pretty sure both of his goals were relatively straightforward finishes. But we'll go through the others first, obviously. So it all started off pretty early on, 22nd minute, with a terrible bit of defending here. Westendorf dwells on the ball way too long. Clements dispossesses him, puts it into Wilden, who scores inside the 6-yard box. Then a done free kick falls to Agbenone, puts in a looping header to the back corner post. Then Dunn and Woodyard, is it? Yeah, Woodyard gets a long ball over to Agbenone, who squares it for Yeboah to score into an open net. Very classic finish from him, just at the start of the second half. No, the end of the first half. Before a long Keeley goal kick that helps Barrow get a goal back. Cathcart gets on the end off the flick on, and a horribly deflected shot loops over right in goal. And then we managed to secure and put a stamp on the match with Tenordre, puts Agbenone through, puts it through to Yeboah, 1-on-1, pops it in the bottom corner. An absolutely beautiful performance from Yeboah. I mean, it's definitely going back to his heyday when he was actually good for us. And I think it's worth saying that, Wilden managed to get a 7.5. He went off injured in the 31st minute and Agbenone came on. And then Agbenone got a 9.0, a goal and 2 assists. Just a brilliant performance from, well, all 3 of our strikers, to be honest. But the fact that Yeboah and Agbenone don't really start up front all that often, and they've managed to absolutely boss that game, definitely fills me with some hope. And then to round out the recap, we played Newport County away, and the only thing more surprising than Yeboah scoring and getting 2 goals is Ashley Clark starting and scoring 2 goals. He has started a lot of games for us, and I think before this match he hadn't scored in 13, I want to say. He's been having a pretty torrid time as of late, but he did absolutely fantastic in this game. Had 2 very good chances and put them away. I will say this was a game that I felt like we were quite fortunate to win. At half-time, which was after the first goal, things were looking pretty chill, to be honest. They'd done absolutely nothing and all the chances were for us. And they absolutely batted us second half. But, the first goal was a nice done pass through to Clark, rockets it into the keeper. But, the second half was just, those highlights that seem to last for like two minutes, let's say. And it's just constant, like, ball down the wing, cross comes in, you header it out, they pick it up, another cross into the box. You get rid of it. Another attack into the box. You get rid of it. It was just that over and over again. They weren't getting many shots off, but they were constantly in and around our penalty area for the whole second half, and I absolutely hated it. But the goal was a nice cross from Smith, and he managed to find Best at the back post. And then in the 70th minute, a long ball from Tenordre finds Foyo, puts it into Jackson, who managed to curl a lovely cross for Clark to get his head on the end of it and secure us the victory. Well, there was still 20 minutes left. There was still a bit to do. But I'm absolutely delighted with that victory. They came out absolutely swinging in the second half and really had the opportunity to just do us. And that brings us to today's game. We're going to be playing Woking, who are currently in 6th. And if we look at the table, we're up to 3rd. And I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but there's an outside chance that we win today and we'd go top, which seems absolutely insane. And I mean, our form has obviously had a big uptick in the last 4 games, but those 4 games were against Torquay in 10th, fair enough, relatively hard match. Newport in 20th, Kidderminster Harriers who were 21st and Barrow who were 22nd. So we basically had 3 very easy matches in those 4 and managed to beat out a good win against Torquay. And we obviously do have a bit of history of struggling up against, the playoff and the promotion contenders. Over the course of the whole season, the top 8 have given us a lot of trouble. So it's just going to be a case of, can we grind out these next 3 matches, get something out of each of them would be nice. If we don't lose any of them, that would be fantastic. But now we're only currently 2 points off the top. It's like a switch in my brain has flipped, and now I'm like, we need to aim to sneak that title away. We managed to do it last season. And, we're definitely on an upwards trajectory this season, down from 18th. We were very solid between 7th, 6th, a long time at 8th there. That was like 6 or 7 games at 8th spot. And then we've broken to the playoffs. And it's been very up and down, but it's been generally an upwards trajectory if you averaged it out. So fingers crossed we can get something from this. So I'm going to go forward the 2 days to the match and we're just going to get straight into it to finish off today's episode. Before we get into that match quickly, the Next Gen 2028 has been announced, and absolutely heartbroken, we are not included. But at the same time, we've got a team meeting coming up. Harrison Bailey, the system manager, thinks it will be good as the next game is crucial to our ongoing title battle. I mean, I don't think that's really something we should be thinking about. I'm thinking about it, but I don't think it's something the players should be thinking about. I'm going to ease expectations because, you know, when our seasonal goal is to fight bravely against relegation, you don't want to put pressure on of, like, you should be winning the title. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Everyone's going to be hyping this match up. I don't want you to pay attention to that. It's just another match as far as we're concerned. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So we'll try and keep the players as happy as possible, and everyone seems thrilled with that. So that works for me. Jesus Christ, today is just constant news stories when I'm trying to get to the match. Planned youth facilities work. We're going to be spending 140,000 to try and upgrade our youth level. Hopefully this might help us get, you know, a bit of new talent in. I did request this. I honestly thought it would be rejected. I was looking for the, you know, increased training facilities option, but that's not back in there yet after we've completed it once already this season. So hopefully we'll have some money left over and we can put some into that for next season. Okay, and I promise this is the last news story before we get into the match. I have won Manager of the Month, and Peter Crouch is thrilled with me, in case people had forgot that he's our director of football. And so it is finally game day. I'm sorry that took a lot longer than it probably should have done. So yeah, I think we're going to be sticking with our 4-1-3-2 formation. We've got Wright in goal, Clement, Jackson, Tenardre and Pritchard along the back. Foyo in defensive mid. The man's been an absolute rock there since he joined. Then Boyang, Dunn and Morehouse cross midfield. I don't like that, not a great partnership, is it? Yeah. They're not a good partnership in their selected roles. That has not been there before this match, so I don't know where that came from. Does that mean that if I change the role, it changes? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, fuck me, I suppose. Morehouse, obviously, out on the right-hand side of the centre three, and then we've got Williams and Clark up front, our two recent on-form strikers. I have got Agbener on the bench. I'll probably be bringing him on if things don't... you know what? Let's start him ahead of Williams. He had such a good game in the last match. It's only fair that I give him a chance up front. He has not been playing a whole lot lately. You know, in the two times that he did recently, he wasn't great. But then that last match, 9.0, absolutely lethal. So I'm hoping we can get the same sort of performance out of him today. And then obviously having Williams and Bircher on the bench does mean that, you know, if we do need to change our system, we can switch to a 4-3-3. Or we can just, take Foyo off and chuck a winger on somewhere and go a bit asymmetrical. Either way should work. So yeah, let's just get into the match. Okay, Agbenoni's nervous, not what I want to see. I'm giving you your first start in a while, you bellend. On a good run lately, go out there and impress me. I trust you to make a difference. Okay, he seems inspired, and we'll do the same for the defence. Everyone apart from Foyo seems happy, but he's composed, so that is all I need. So we're lining up, as I said, in our 4-1-3-2, whereas Woking are lining up in a 4-2-3-1. Not a formation we come up against super often, but it's not a rare one that, you know, we have massive problems against. I did see at the bottom that we've never actually managed to beat Woking, so hopefully we can try and put an end to that today. There's 790 people here at DanSkorne Park, hoping the same will happen. Well, obviously not all of them, but I'd say at least, I don't know, well, knowing our attendance compared to the away attendance, probably about 50 of our fans here. We're starting off in the 11th minute with a quirk throw-in. Dunk gets it back to O'Brien. We've got Jackson with a long ball over, but it looks like he's picked up by Clements, and he puts the ball back to right. And now we're looking to start a move of our own down the right-hand side. Pritchard coming forward. It's looking like he's not confident on the ball there, but puts it back to Tenardre, and we recycle possession, and then they recycle us. Now we've got Smith. Sorry for any strange cuts, I am still getting over my cold. King, Harris, Pritchard managed to get it away, gets to Agbenone. Can he put maybe Clark away? He's making a run, he's given up on his run. He's going for another run. Managed to get the ball in the penalty area, and he's managed to pop it in the bottom corner. What a beautiful finish from Ashley Clark there. I really thought we'd missed a chance there. With Agbenone coming forward, Clark's making a run there, and then he stops. But then, you know, he waits until Agbenone's actually ready to make the pass, which it seemed like a harder pass than the original one, but I'm not going to complain. 1-0 in the 12th minute. God, it's so frustrating when you're a little bit ill. You've got like a niggly cough, and it only really affects me when I'm talking. So I can sit here in silence and work, no problem. As soon as I start recording Football Manager, my throat decides it hates me. Nerfville, down the right-hand side, puts it back to Quirk. They're going to go for a long ball over. They are, but we should get that. We do not. O'Donker puts it wide, but he was offside anyway. Okay. A little bit scary, but thankfully he missed. Got shot anyway. Smith with a corner now. They're starting to put a bit of pressure on it. O'Brien headers over this time. He probably should have scored that. Just unchallenged header in the middle of the box. We're going down to Pritchard on the right-hand side again. Can he come up with something this time? He seems to like flap it and go backwards so often. A long ball up to Clark does not go well. Now it's coming back to us. Pritchard again puts it to Tanadre. He always seems to favour just pass it to Tanadre and let Tanadre do the work, which you wouldn't sort of expect from a fullback. I think he'd be like on the right hand side pinging balls up or something. Pete Harris, Pert Harris into Tanadre. Nothing comes from it. Boyang picks it up, gets it over to Clark. Gets dispossessed. 2 men jump on him straight away. Griesdale passes it to Smith on the left hand side. Nice little cross in there, but Tanadre gets it away again. It falls to Son King outside the box, and he blasts it straight over. Would have been a peach of a finish if it had gone in there. Again, at 28th minute, we've got a throw-in from Pritchard that goes to the only area that there is absolutely none of our players in. Not what we want to see. I do love seeing Foyo running around. Reminds me of having Moncrief on the team. Oh, the good old days when leagues were so incredibly easy, and we were getting players scoring 80 goals in a season. Aldershot have just scored, I assume. Oh, and now Donker's through, and he looks like he's going to score that with the softest shot of all time. So I didn't actually realise we were top for a bit of time there, but it doesn't look like it's going to stay that way. As soon as we drop down to second, we then concede, so now we're probably back down to third again. Lovely ball over to Donker there. He takes it around the keeper, and that's just such a piss-taking finish, isn't it? Yeah, we are back down to third. I think all 3 of the teams at the top are drawing. Aldershot are drawing 1-1, we're drawing 1-1, and Barnet have already played, so they are definitely not getting anything out of this. They were 1 point ahead of us going into it. So the ball goes out to Clement on the left-hand side. He also cuts back. Maybe this is something to do with our formation. Like the fullbacks just can't see anyone to get the ball to. But I would have thought one of our Mazzalas would have been able to come a little bit wide and grab it. I don't know. Either way, Pritchard on the right now does actually go for a pass in, and he loses it. So maybe Foyo jumps like Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, the ball falls to Clark. How does the ball fall to us in such a dangerous position, and it ends up in a goal for them? How does this happen? That doesn't make sense. We dispossess them. Like here, we get the ball and it's like, oh, he's just going to go straight past that defender and score. The defender comes out of nowhere, hoofs the ball upfield, and Hodonka outside of the boot puts it past right. I am not happy with that. Just done a quick demand more, as you probably saw. I'm just going to give it till half time. I don't think I'm going to make any changes just yet. I might mess with a role or two. Maybe put one of our Mazzalas, like Morehouse, on a more attacking focused role, I think. Just give a bit more support. We're not creative enough, we're not positive enough. Let's go for that. You weren't that bad, but okay, yeah. Agbono really needs a lot of reassurance today, and I'm not too thrilled about it. Morehouse, actually, done. I'm going to move you to a supporting advanced playmaker. We've already got Foyo covering the defensive aspects. Do we want to change our fullbacks? I'm tempted to change to no-nonsense fullbacks, because neither of them seem to want to make a pass. And that's sort of backed up by their star rating, the fact that they're not, their best role is supposedly no-nonsense fullback. But then as soon as we get them in a position where they should really be putting the ball up the wing, they just do nothing. So they're going to be focused more on defence. I'm going to allow Mazzala, maybe Morehouse can go a bit more attacking. Boyang is a better player, so I'd like to have him, in a bit more of a creative spot in the middle, I feel like. And I think that makes sense in my head. Clark is in danger of being booked, and Agbono is just not having a good time. I'm going to bring Williams on. Let's just go with it. He can also play a little bit lower, but I'm not going to do it. I think we're just going to stick with what we've got for now. I don't really make substitutions at half-time very often, but this is quite an important game. And now we're starting 5 minutes into the second half with another Quirk throw-in. King and O'Brien linking up again. Griesdale puts it out to Mathurian. Pritchard managed to get it away, but not convincingly. Now Smith with a cross in towards the back post. Looping header goes just wide of the far post. That could have been very bad for us. Just a minute later, another Quirk throw-in. They're getting a lot of throw-ins. The ball's coming in. That's Peter Harris, and he puts it slightly over. They are just all over us, and I'm not sure how to try and fix this. Should we not play out of defence, maybe? Like, our defence aren't the best. So I think I'm just going to focus the play through the middle, which makes sense because, you know, we have got the better midfield players, go slightly more direct. In my head, at least, that means we'll be getting the ball straight to the middle and then instantly trying to get a ball straight over to, you know, Clark or Williams making a break past the defence is how I'm thinking that's going to go. A higher press. I'm going to bring the mid-block back a bit and condense it a bit because they're just getting a lot of space. I don't know if I should also bring back this, but they don't seem to be breaking past us very often, so I'm just going to stick it like this for now. I'm going to take off drop off more because they're just getting way too much time on the ball to do something. I'm going to see how that goes. I'm going to drop a quick encourage, try and get the players in a slightly better mood. They all hate me, and now they're all thrilled. Okay, come on guys, we really need something from this game. Okay, now they've got a Smith free kick. It's the ball towards the back post, and it's off the post. Oh, Jesus. It's just, I just don't understand why this is just not working so badly. Does that make sense? Well, I'm moving you back, and I'm going to put you over there. I'm almost tempted to, like, really go for this, to be honest. What is, you know, one thing I'll look at, what is our goal difference? We've got considerably worse goal difference than the teams around us, other than Woking. So realistically, Woking are the only team we could catch up goal difference. We've only got 15, they've got 19, in case you're not looking at the screen right now. So obviously, if we manage to win this 1-0, that would be a 2 swing, and we'd both be on 7-2, well, 3-2, winning by 1 goal. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes, but I might bring Boyang up as well and drop Dunn back to a deep-lying playmaker, defensive midfielder. I've just switched to an attacking mentality, but we're just not getting the ball in their half. Dunn manages to try and make a move at least. Clements just get rid of it. This is the problem when you put them on no nonsense. They just header it straight back to the other team. There is no... I'll wait to the end of this highlight because nothing actually changes until the end of the highlight anyway. But, oh, nice long ball over there. Williams trying to get the end of it, and the defender missed the ball. Williams is through, and he puts it in the bottom corner. Come on. Beautiful finish after O'Brien completely missed his header. I really thought he'd taken too long, Williams had, because the ball drops in there and he sort of picks it up and just slowly walks towards the net. It feels like all the defenders are closing on him. Like, he gets this. He's not making any sort of rush there. And you've got 3 defenders closing down on him very quickly. I think one of the problems is we're doing no-nonce fullbacks, which I don't really like doing, but it was me trying to fix a problem that I saw. So we're just going to go with this. The one thing that I will say is I made this formation change, but it made no difference whatsoever towards that goal because we just put a long ball over the top and it worked out. Done now with a pass in, and it just goes straight to them and they're straight back on the counter-attack. Like, it's so frustrating when every time we come up against a half-decent team I decide to do a live com for it. Oh, that's offside. That's got. I think we were keeping him on. I think, is that Pritchard or Clements? Clements must have been keeping him on because he definitely touched that on the line. It looked like that was already in the net when he touched it. Is this going to be the replay for the goal? Is it going to give us the line? Oh, maybe he was behind the ball. It didn't look like he was. It definitely wasn't when he touched it. But yeah, every time we're like, I only do live comms against the teams that, you know, might be an interest. What was that jump from? Wait a second. Let me just see this again. It's like ball over. It was like a Mario jump from Mark. Oh wow. Anyway, yeah. So we're doing very well against all the teams that are pretty bad, and then as soon as we come up against any relatively strong opposition, and Clark's through there, and he's managed to equalise again. That's 3-3 now. What a fucking second half this is. This is absolutely crazy. Why are so many people are really sad? This doesn't make sense. Williams puts the ball through straight round Jackson, and Clark rockets it into the bottom corner. Right. How can I change? it's hard to figure out which of these sort of means, yes, that was great, keep doing more of that. Encourage plenty of players. Remain focused on a task at hand. Encourage your players to relax and hope they play without pressure. No, but I don't want to demand more because we've just got a goal, but I'm gonna. And that's gone down very well. Come on. There's got to be one more goal in this, and I'm praying it's not a bloody Woking one, but this is not looking good for that. Oh, great tackle from Foyo, and Dunn managed to get the ball, but he gives it away. The ball's coming out to Williams on the side. There's someone in the loop free in the middle. I'm not happy about it. No. Pat Harris somehow managed. It looks like he scored with the back of his bloody head, which makes no sense. But moves down the side here. I was really scared he was going to cross it straight into Mathurin there, but it comes back. Yeah, Harris is running away from the goal, and it bounces off the top of his head and goes straight into the back of the net. It doesn't make any sense, and I hate that I've just seen that. I'm just going to make a stupid tactical change just to chuck a few more people on. You're now an advanced playmaker. You're attacking midfielder. What can you do? Oh, you're actually pretty good up here. I'm going to put you as an enganche. I don't think I've ever put anyone as an enganche, but I just want to mess with some roles and see if something happens. It really hurts me that I said I think there's one more goal. Done, free kick, goes to Tamaja at the back post, and it's off the underside of the bar. It's off the underside of the bar. Oh no, and now we've got a corner. This has got to be the last kick of the game. Moyes puts to the back post. Oh, and it goes to Clark, but he can't get to it. Gets another chance. There's just no one on the ball. Fucking close him down. What is that end? What is that end? Oh my god. I mean, we could have probably brought on a substitute. Looking at it, change things up a little bit. But that was an insane game. XG of 1 and 2, and it managed to end up 4-3. Oh, Gareth Williams gets man of the match. Well, from our team at the very least. I'm far from pleased with that result. You all need to look a bit more fired up. That game and the next, out of this run of 3 games we've got, this was the easy matchup against 6th place. Now we've got to play 4th, and then we've got to play bloody top. Well, actually, no, it's now 6th and top. Because Woking have just gone above it. Yeah, Woking and Notts County have gone up. Dorking have gone down. Oh, I can't believe we've just lost that. We were 1-0 up, 2-1 down, 2-2, 3-2 down, 3-3, and nice goal. It was 2-1 with 14 minutes to go to them, and then we both scored 2 goals in the last quarter of an hour. Oh, I am so annoyed. Absolutely slammed the team. Yep. I am not happy, and I hope the team knows it. And now Foyo needs a rest right before these next 2 games. Oh, God, what am I going to do? So, my plan for the next episode, I'm going to do the Dorking game off camera. If we win that, and there's any chance whatsoever of us competing up here still, because obviously, there's currently 3 points difference. I mean, there's 3 points difference, but there's a big goal difference gap. A goal difference does make sense, which is a weird sentence to say. So they're essentially 4 points ahead of us because we're not going to catch up on goal difference. And if we did, that would be some sort of, South Shields fuck up level miracle. If we do well and things go south below us, so we've got a bit of a gap on the playoffs, we might not come back for the Aldershot game, and we'll probably come back for the Chorley game in that case, which is the last but one game of the season, because that's going to be where we're trying to secure this top 3 finish, which is what we're really aiming for. I mean, the title would be nice, but a top 3 finish means we've got a better chance of getting through the playoffs, now that the playoffs are essentially, they're not guaranteed, but there's 15 points to play for, and we're 9 points clear of 8th. So it's highly unlikely we won't get in them, barring some absolute capitulation. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure where we're going to be back. It will either be for the Aldershot game or the Chorley game, I think. So it depends how things go. If we do the Aldershot game, we'll probably then do, one of the last games of the season and the end of season review, or the playoffs, depending on how things are going. But if it's a Chorley game, it's probably to do that and the playoff draw to see who we're going to get and maybe go through the first round if we do manage to get up into the top 2 playoff spots. But enough waffle about that anyway. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, maybe leave a like or comment down below. It really does help out a great deal, and it means a hell of a lot to me as well. maybe if you subscribe, we might actually be able to win a live com, because I mean, I've not had a bad last few months in the game, but the only 4 games we've lost are the last 4 games that I've done live comms on, which is absolutely mind-blowing looking at it. I mean, obviously, Man United was a guaranteed loss. Rochdale wasn't a guaranteed loss, but we just didn't show up at all for that. Rochdale aren't a bad side. They're in 9th, aren't they? Yeah. And Rochdale have historically given us quite a few problems. We've actually never beat them. Filed with that 4-0 loss still hurts me to this day, but that Woking loss might actually hurt me a little bit more, just in the manner of we kept getting hope, and then it kept getting taken away. But anyway, I need to stop talking about this, or I'm going to end up, I don't know, taking a bath with a toaster or something. So yeah, subscribe to make sure you don't miss it. Maybe if I did do that, I'll stick a video up, who knows. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.